Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review the Juvia'S foundation, concealer, and powder. So if you guys want to know how these products apply on my face and how they wear throughout the day, just keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, please turn on the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload. Now let's get started with the review. I'm reviewing the Juvia'S I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. You guys know I have dry skin, so I'm gonna give this a go and let's see how it lasts on me. And then I'm also using the concealer, and I also got the loose powder. They were out of some shades that I wanted, but I got the shade Giza, Giza 540. That's for the foundation. And then for the concealer, I got the shade number 20, and I'm just gonna open it so I can show you guys. This is the size of the concealer. It's so big. It reminds me of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, the new one. So you do get a lot of product. And then the foundation, I did think it was a little bit small, maybe because of the packaging, but that is the size of the foundation right there. It is a 1 ounce foundation, so it's your typical foundation size, and it's 30 milliliters. So I do have that. And then for the concealer, it's 10 milliliters, so that's really good. And then the powder, I got the shade White Sands. So I think this is a more yellow shade. That is the shade right there. For the powder, it is kind of small. It reminds me of the Kylie Jenner one and also the ColourPop one. The foundation does retail for $20, and I'm going to read you guys a few things about it. It says, Juvia'S I Am Magic Foundation offers a smooth application with a natural and soft matte finish to give a flawless coverage. A great formula to even out the complexion, refine skin texture, and erase blemishes, maintaining the initial finish throughout the day, suitable for all skin types, including sensitive and oily skin. So that is really good, and I can't wait to start applying it. But first, I am going to apply the Smashbox Primerizer. Last night I did self-tan so I can match the foundation, but I just don't like the self-tanner that I use. I used a new one. I didn't use Loving Tan. I actually used Bondi Sands. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it just has a different undertone to it, and it's a little bit more green. And also it was so oily on my skin, so I just washed it off. And now I'm gonna use a beauty blender on one side, and then I use a brush on this side. I think I'm gonna like the beauty blender better, knowing that this is full-on coverage. So I'm just going to put that in the back of my hand. Whoa. So I've never had a foundation in this kind of tube. It is kind of messy, but yeah, this is the color right there. It's like a light yellow golden shade. I'm just gonna put a little bit and then build the way up. Okay, so it is full coverage, but as you can see, you still can see my blemishes, like the acne scars, and you can still see my mole right there. So it's not full-on coverage like other foundations that I've used before. This is still pretty natural to me, but it doesn't feel heavy or anything. So I'm gonna blend that down all the way here where my shirt ends. And then I'm gonna build it up just a tiny bit. If you guys have used this foundation, let me know if you liked it or not. So far I'm liking it. It's really soft, like velvety, like it said. So far so good. Look at that, it looks so nice. I still have a glow on my skin. I really like it. I'm gonna try it with the brush now. Let's see if I like it more with the brush. And I'm using the Morphe JH03. So I'm gonna apply it here. So I kind of like apply it first and then I tap. Okay, so with the brush, it kind of blended faster. It blended itself out really quick. So I'm liking it. With the brush a little bit better. Just the formula mixes well with the brush, you know? So far I like it. I didn't need to put on as much foundation on this side, whereas this one I had to put more because of the sponge kind of soaks it in more. So that's why I like the brush better. And it's just faster overall. This is what the foundation is looking like. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty nice. I like that it's full coverage, but it doesn't feel cakey. And it doesn't feel heavy like other foundations, like the Kat Von D and all those. It doesn't feel that way. So far it hasn't sunk into my smile lines. We will see after I apply powder, but so far so good. Now let's move on to the concealer. This is designed to give you a full range of weightless coverage across 24 unique shades. It's formulated for all skin types and tones. It is just full coverage and flawless. This is the applicator. It's pretty huge. It reminds me of the Shape Tape concealer applicator. So yeah, let's just start applying it. Just a little bit under the eye. In a triangle. And then a little bit on the other side. For these dark circles, cause girl, your girl needs some sleep. I like to let it sit for a little bit just so I can get more coverage. And this one is supposed to cancel out dark circles, blemishes, and skin imperfections. So I'm all for that. And then I'm going to take the pointy side like that and start blending it out. Make sure you get the inner corner right here. And then I just grab this side here by the eyeshadow and just smooth it out. Wow, I like it. It's really full coverage. Look at that. It's not sinking into my fine lines either under my eyes, which is great. So I'm gonna do the other side now. I am digging this concealer. I think I like the concealer better than the foundation. But the foundation is really good too. Don't get me wrong, but I like the concealer better just because I like my full coverage. And then now I'm just gonna jump into the powder right away. For the powder, I like to dump it on the top. And I like using a brush. Most people use beauty blenders, but I like the brush. And let's start applying it. And I like to go in all over the face. I like how brightening it is. I chose the right color. This is in the shade White Sands. It's really smooth too. A little bit more. And just use it for the cheek area because that's the most important part. When I apply my bronzer and start contouring, you want this to not be wet because it is going to grab on to the bronzer and your bronzer is going to look chalky and it's going to look muddy and you don't want that. So you want to set even your neck if you apply foundation on your neck. For the forehead, I don't like to frown or anything or like look up to make lines, just so I don't have the creasing on the forehead. So you want to keep a straight face. Wow, this powder is amazing. Amazeballs. It looks so smooth. You do want to go in with extra powder by the nose. Just this part here is where I start getting oily. I hate it. The time right now is 1:06 in the afternoon. I'll let you guys know what the foundation is looking like by the end of the day. But first I'm going to do the full face, my contour, my blush and everything off camera. I will list all the products down below in the description box. So make sure you check that out to see what I use for the lashes and eyeshadows. But yeah, so far, girl, I am digging it. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So this is the final look. I am really digging this. Like, look at how all the products sit on top. Like, seriously, it just blended in like a dream and it didn't take long. It was really, really quick. The time right now is 1:29, so that was pretty quick, let me tell you. I did the lower lash line, I also did the blush, the highlight, and the bronzer, and everything blended so quick. I am really impressed with this foundation. So I hope it stays like this the whole day. Let's pray it does. I am going to run a few errands. We're gonna take some pictures and I'm just going to be here at the house on my day off. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this foundation review so far, and I will check back in around 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So yeah, I will see you guys in a few hours. Hey guys, I'm back with my first check-in and the time right now is 5:36. So it's been about a few hours, like 4 hours I believe, and this is what my skin is looking like. I'm pretty oily. It's been hot today, you know, maybe that caused it. And this goes to show that you can be dry and you can use this foundation. Look at me right now, my T-zone. It's actually right here on my forehead where I'm oily and my nose area. The rest is kind of good still. The cheeks, everything's holding on good, but just this area here is really oily. I haven't used any powder, so that's why I look really oily. I just want to show you guys how it looks without touching up. But at the end of the video, I will show you guys how it looks with some loose powder on top, so you guys can see if you're going out at night and you're touching up, how it will look when you touch up. So far, I like it, but it's too much glow. Like, I'm kind of scared, you know? It's kind of like a glow where it looks too oily. I don't like it that much. I will come back like around 8 o'clock and I will give you my final thoughts if you guys are gonna go and grab these items or not, if they're worth it. But yeah, I'll be right back with the last check-in. I am back with my last check-in and the time right now is 8:02. So it's been about 3 hours since my last check-in and this is what the face is looking like. It's looking about the same. I don't see any difference. I'm still oily in the forehead and my nose. The rest of my face is looking pretty good and I'm gonna look at it up close. If you look up close, my mustache area right here, it's coming off a little bit, if you can see, and then it's coming off on my nose area. So those are the two areas that the foundation is coming off. Other than that, everything else looks good. You could see my lines a little bit more with this foundation, like my forehead lines, they're really deep. Can you see that? So yeah, it is a heavy foundation. If you do have lines like myself, you do need to go in with a little bit less foundation. Don't go so heavy like I did. That's always my mistake. I always have a heavy hand. You guys know I always put on a lot of foundation. Even with my moisturizers, my eye cream, everything, I use a lot of product. That's just how I am, and I'm not going to change. But yeah, other than that, the foundation looks pretty good. The powder and the contour blended in so well. It just looks amazing. I love it. And yeah, I did take off my eyelashes, so that's why I look different. And my lipstick came off. But other than that, everything looks good. I am going to touch up a little bit with powder just so you guys can see how it looks with powder on top. It looks good. It doesn't look amazing touching up on top, but it looks pretty good. It's doing the job. I recommend a powder that has coverage better, that will add more coverage, you know. So I recommend something like Benefit Hello Flawless, if they still sell it, maybe like that, because I heard that powder was discontinued. So something like that, or even like the Morphe powder, that will add more coverage and it won't like come off, because it came off right there with the translucent. I'm gonna give a grade to each product. So first I'm gonna start off with the powder. I think the powder was great. It really set my whole face and it made my face look flawless. It didn't accentuate my pores or anything like that, so that's good. And I got this in the shade White Sands. If you want to pick it up, it's White Sands. And the grade that I'm going to give this is an A. So this was really good. I definitely recommend this powder, and for the price you can't beat it. For the concealer, I'm going to give it an A as well. It's so good. It just looks flawless under the eyes. You can't really see my lines either, my wrinkles, so that's great. And I just love this concealer. I love the shade. This is the shade 20. You can't go wrong with this. It's in a big packaging. It's gonna last you the whole year. And the grade that I'm going to give the foundation is a B. So I'm giving this a B, a lower grade, because of the oiliness that I have, and then it gets cakey around the nose area. So that's about it. But other than that, it does have great coverage. It covered everything on the second layer, because at first if you use one layer, it doesn't cover everything. It didn't cover this mole or my acne scars here at first, so I had to put on more. But I am going to definitely put on less in the nose area and my mustache area, because it was caking up right there. And on my forehead. I did put less on my forehead, but I don't know why it's so oily. And you can see my lines a lot. This foundation is definitely a velvety matte foundation, but it does tend to get a little bit oily. And I did use a hydrating primer with it. So I'm going to use my pore minimizing primer tomorrow for work, and let's see how it works together. Hopefully I get less oily. But yeah, this was a great foundation. I give it a B. And then the concealer is perfect and the powder is perfect. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.